Hey guys, welcome back to Woods Tree Farm. I'm Phil, and today we're working on some of our Leyland and Murray cypress. We're doing a little bit of corrective trimming. So I've showed in previous videos some of the shearing that we do on these trees to get them their shape, because these things will grow into big bushy shrubs if you let them. And we also need to kind of constantly correct for a number of other issues, which I'm going to share with you on this video today. So first couple rows up here, I'm right next to the pond, just in case you're keeping track. The first couple rows are smaller trees, 3 to 4 feet for the most part. These are not going to be harvestable this year. They'll be next year's trees. But I have already gone through those, and I've done some basil pruning, and I've corrected some of the tops, and I've also found some runners, which I'll share with you in a minute what I'm calling the runners. And it's real evident in these trees that they need more attention than what I'm giving them, and that kind of goes with some of the pros and cons of growing different species of trees. Cypress, if you can grow them, if you're in a really cold climate, you can't grow them, but we have mild winters and they can survive here, and these are really popular Christmas trees further south than we are. And if you can grow them, they grow incredibly fast. They don't really go dormant unless you get some extended cold, so you get a really long growing season with them, and as a result you're going to get 2 to 3 feet a year out of these trees. They grow too fast. We actually have to shear them aggressively so that they fill in and get their shape. So what we see in a lot of these are double tops, and some that don't really have a clearly defined top at all. They just grow up really bushy with lots of branches near the top, and we need to go through and kind of correct some of that. So let me show you a good example of that. So in this tree here, we can see there's actually kind of a double leader situation going on, though it's not truly a double leader, but you'll see this a lot in cypress where you get these kind of vertical, I call them runners. Here's one right here where this little branch shot off and it's going straight up, and he's basically saying, hey, I want to be the leader on this tree. And then there's a bunch of others in here. There's one further down that's also growing up. Here's one right next to the top. So we need to go through and kind of chop out some of these vertical runners and have a clearly defined leader on this tree. Pull you back around on this side of the tree, and you can actually see, so this is the one all the way down here. We've got this vertical branch, and I'm going to snip him off right there. Okay, right here, this one has a big vertical. We're going to snip him off. We're actually going to go back even further on that one. And then up here, this is where we get more of a true double top situation. And now I just need to kind of pick what do I think is going to be my true leader. And I'm going to take this one off. And then we can clean up this top a little bit. And this might actually be a candidate for a stake to try to get some of this top to grow a little bit straighter. We can also kind of look around the tree, reach in and pull out some of these branches. You can see here, there are several of these that are growing from the inside of some of these branches and then growing straight up. So I'm going to go in and kind of just clip some of these out, and it's going to give this tree a lot better structure than if we have these branches, growing inside the tree, growing straight up and growing. Here's one that comes from all the way around the other side of the tree, and I need to go all the way over there and clip it. All right, so this tree is now pretty much cleaned up. We can move on to the next one. And I kind of created, because we waited too long on this tree to do any of the trimming, and there were some issues that were really bad in this one. So I created a couple holes. This tree is only about 4.5, 5 foot tall right now. So it should fill in before it gets cut. Probably won't be ready for this season. Maybe it will. We'll see what happens. But there's kind of like one hole back here, and then the top. We'll see what happens with it over this year. All right, so we'll do a couple other examples. I know I can find loads of examples of things to look out for in these, but here's a smaller one. Definitely starting to do a little bit of a double top. I saw a couple little runners, so let's take a closer look. All right, so in here, just starting at the top, you can kind of see here's one little branch that wants to be the leader. We've got this one, and we've got this over here. So we kind of have to look back and see what's our straightest option. This whole thing I'm going to take out. Part of this I'm going to take out. This one I'm going to take out. And let's see. And that. So this will end up being our leader. We can actually even trim this a little bit if we want. And then all the way down here, move you guys back a little bit. Got another one of those runners from down here. And I could either snip this off way back at its branch, or I could snip it off up here. I'm actually going to do that, and we'll see what happens over the next year, because I don't want this to become a bare spot. So the little leaves that are on this section of branch here should grow out and fill that out. And then I can reach inside the tree elsewhere. Let me bring you over here. And as we reach inside the tree over here, we see we've got a couple others. We've still got a stake in here. This tree's big enough it doesn't need a stake anymore. I didn't even see it until now. And then here's a big one, really big one. There's two on one branch. Okay, I'm going to cut those back to there. Pretty good. All right, so every couple trees I am disinfecting my tools. So I've got a little bucket of water here. It's actually some bleach water. And like I said, every couple trees we'll just go ahead and disinfect the tools, because if there are fungal issues on any of these trees, they'll easily spread from tree to tree with contact, so we'll want to minimize that as much as possible. These trees were all sprayed with fungicide a little over a week ago, and we're going to do it again in about 2 weeks, so hopefully we'll get ahead of any possible issues with these trees here this year. So I've got another one here, kind of similar example, but this I think is probably caused by us. Last year we just came through and we were shearing these. We used hedge trimmers, we used knives, and we were just really focused on the shape, and we weren't paying close attention to the actual structure of the tree. So what we get in here are, there are lots of branches. You look at them and you're like, look how long that is. And that was just before it was growing up inside the tree. There's a couple of them in here that we see. As we get around the tree, here's another one. Okay, so all of these just need to get cleaned up, and then we've got the crazy possible kind of double top scenario going on here again. All right, so we'll just start at the top again, try to figure out where my actual leader is. Take out this whole section right here. Okay, down here, up here. All right, we'll just let that go. That should straighten out and become our leader. And then I can go around the rest of the tree and cut out some of these wacky ones. All right, so just like one of the other ones, we had to clip out a really big section right here, and that kind of created a bit of a hole, but I'm confident over the next year this will really fill out. There's another little bit of a hole down here. I'm sure that'll fill out as well. So pretty much any tree that you grow comes with some pros and cons. The cypress trees grow incredibly fast, 2 to 3 feet a year, but they come with a disclaimer that you need to pay a lot closer attention to them than what we've been doing, because you just get a lot of wacky stuff going on with their branching and their tops, and they don't want to grow straight. They need kind of constant straightening, and if you get a real heavy wind, they have real shallow roots, they might lean over. You got to come back and stand them back up, and just, you know, the kind of list goes on and on with these. But we sold our first cypress trees this past Christmas, and everyone loved them. We only had a few dozen that were harvestable height, and we've already come back in. You can see stakes on the ground, and we've replanted in here with some new ones, and we'll continue to kind of have a rotation of 6-foot plus trees in this section. And I want to keep it that way because this is the most visible section of our field. When people enter the property from across the way over there, this is what they see, and it looks really awesome. But we need to keep up with planting, and then as we start to either cull or harvest the pine trees that are behind them, we'll be planting more cypress up here as well. Well, thanks for spending a little bit of time, guys. If you got a question about pruning these types of trees, let me know and I'll answer what I can. I'll share with you the experiences that I have. And until next time, hope you have a good one. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.